It's time for the KinoCheck news. Not only can you expect the first images of the new Godzilla series, but also the latest information on the planned Fallout adaptation. Also, the director of the Equalizer 3 has announced that this is not necessarily the last movie in the franchise. All this and much more is waiting for you in this week's KinoCheck news. The DC film Blue Beetle by director Manuel Soto was released in theaters just a few days ago. Now, The Wrecking Crew is his next project. The MGM-produced film is expected to feature a top-notch cast, including Dave Bautista and Jason Momoa, both of whom were in talks before the current actor strikes. Screenwriter Jonathan Tropper has also been hired. He was previously in charge of series such as Warrior and Banshee and has also worked with Jason Momoa on the Apple series See. Tropper was hired for the project prior to the writer's strike. Momoa talked about the project back in 2021 in an interview with James Corden. Quote, "Dave loves wearing Speedos. I love wearing board shorts, and both of us with our shirts off. I have hair, he doesn't have hair. We cover all the demographics." Yet, the two have clearly proven that they are capable of more in recent years. Momoa, for example, was able to excel as a villain in the last Fast and Furious 10, and as Aquaman helped DC to one of its biggest movie hits. Dave Bautista, meanwhile, played his way into the fans' of hearts as Drax in the popular Guardians of the Galaxy series, or won them over in his brief appearance in Denis Villeneuve's Blade Runner 2049. Speaking of Denis Villeneuve, both actors have even starred in a movie together, namely in the 2021 science fiction epic Dune, where they were on opposing sides. This will probably be a bit different in the buddy comedy Wrecking Crew. Currently, nothing is known about the planned release date of the action movie. More Equalizer movies with a rejuvenated Denzel Washington. If director Antoine Fuqua has his way, that's absolutely possible. The Equalizer 3 will soon be the last mission with Denzel Washington in the leading role for now. The final part is supposed to be the main character's ultimate exit from the life of an Avenger. Director Antoine Fuqua indicated in an interview with NMW, however, that this does not necessarily mean that we will no longer see Denzel Washington in the role. In fact, Fuqua has already thought about rejuvenating his leading man to continue the franchise in the form of a prequel. If there were a good way of telling Robert McCall's original story, then talks could be held out. The fact that the de-aging of actors has become a popular means of storytelling is hardly a novelty. This year alone, we saw a rejuvenated Harrison Ford in Indiana Jones 5. However, this technique continues to be met with criticism, as it is still partly perceived as artificial. Fuqua emphasized that he would keep an eye on the process and therefore had not yet spoken to Denzel Washington about it. He also reported on the shooting of the Equalizer 3 and revealed that it was quite exhausting for Washington. There was a scene in which the star had to run up a flight of stairs. The scene could only be repeated a few times because of the physical strain on the 68-year-old actor. Quote from the director, "His knees were hurting. It was hot too." Of course, we wonder, even if you could make an actor's face look believably younger, isn't it a problem, especially in action scenes, when a supposedly young character moves like an older person? Even The Irishman by star director Martin Scorsese faced some ridicule when a rejuvenated Robert De Niro beat up someone while physically looking like he was in his mid-70s. What are your thoughts on the subject? Should the Equalizer finally retire, or do you think we can still expect some great movies with de-aging? We are looking forward to reading your opinion. At last, there are new details about the Fallout series. A teaser trailer and an approximate release date for the live-action adaptation of the popular game series was revealed at Gamescom. The series is set to kick off soon on Amazon Prime Video. Fallout is a real evergreen in video game history. Many games of the post-apocalyptic role-playing series have been released since 1997 and are very popular to this day. As early as July of 2020, a series adaptation was announced by Amazon via Deadline and put fans in great anticipation. Now the first information and approximate release date for the series adaptation have finally been made public at the Gamescom event that is currently taking place in Germany. Fallout will be available on Amazon Prime Video as soon as next year in 2024. As already announced in 2020, Christopher Nolan's brother Jonathan and his wife Lisa Joy will be in charge of the series. Jonathan Nolan already wrote the scripts for Interstellar and Westworld, and will also work as a writer for the Fallout series. The two will also produce the series, as well as direct the first episodes. The cast includes Moises Arias, Johnny Pemberton, Aixa Kendrick, and the Hateful Eight star Walton Goggins. Moreover, the studio presented first glimpses in the form of a teaser trailer, which however was exclusively shown to the visitors of the exhibition. Up to now, there is only one description of the trailer. There is footage of the so-called Brotherhood of Steel, This is followed by a firefight in which the Brotherhood is involved. You can also see a woman leaving her vault for the first time and discovering the post-apocalyptic world. Vault is the name given to the numerous bunkers where people sought shelter from World War III. Amazon Prime also published a first artwork of the series on Twitter, which shows us the well-known Vault Boy in the setting of Los Angeles. The Vault Boy wears the typical blue suit of the Vault inhabitants. A 33 can be seen on his chest. This suggests that the series will focus on the survivors of Vault 33, and that the action will take place in and around LA. The Fallout video games tell of a post-apocalyptic world destroyed by a nuclear war in the year 2077. The players explore the radioactively contaminated Earth and have to deal with the likes of mutants, scavengers, and strange cults. Besides a decent amount of humor, the style of the American 1950s is a signature feature of the series. We are excited to see if the special atmosphere of the games will carry over to the series. Monster fans, listen up. Apple has presented us with the first images of the title of their upcoming Godzilla series. Monarch: Legacy of Monsters is set to build on Legendary's MonsterVerse and follow up on the Godzilla movie from 2014. The series will therefore also be set in the same universe as the previous movies Kong Skull Island, Godzilla King of Monsters, and Godzilla vs. Kong. The series will cover 3 generations and follow 2 siblings in particular. They want to follow in their father's footsteps and uncover their family's connections to the secret organization Monarch. The respective storylines will take place in 1950 and half a century later, and will once again take us into the world of Godzilla and other famous kaijus. The title of the series, Monarch: Legacy of Monsters, also suggests that the series will mainly revolve around the secret organization that has been dealing with the Titans for ages. Matt Shakman, who has already made a name for himself with series like Succession, The Boys, and WandaVision, will direct the first 3 episodes. Information and first pictures of the cast have also been revealed. We see Kurt Russell in the role of Army Officer Lee Shaw, as well as his son Wyatt Russell as a young version of the character in the 1950s. Likewise, we get a look at a character embodied by Anna Sawai, looking up at the sky in fear, possibly seeing the king of all monsters up close at this very moment. This seems to be confirmed by another image in which we see the roaring Godzilla. A woman is standing in the front. Since the series will cover 3 generations and several decades, it'll probably have an adequate length with the announced 10 episodes of the first season. An exact release date is not known yet, but the series is expected to premiere next year. This is a reason to rejoice for all fans of the iconic monster, who can already look forward to Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire, and Toho's Godzilla -1. An unusual follow-up. After the extremely successful Frozen movies, not only a 3rd part is to come, but also a podcast with the title Disney's Frozen Podcast, Forces of Nature, which is meant to connect Part 2 and Part 3. Disney's Frozen was a phenomenal success, grossing over $1.2 billion worldwide. Frozen 2, which was released in 2019, even managed to top that with $1.4 billion. So it should come as no surprise that the company wants to further expand the world around Snowman Olaf, Elsa, and Anna. Thus, short films and short stories came out. Frozen 3 was announced in February of this year, and now a 12-part audio series is to follow with Forces of Nature, which will present us with further adventures of the main characters between the 2nd and 3rd film. In addition to the familiar characters, Elsa, Anna, Olaf, and Kristoff, new characters will also make an appearance in the audio series. For example, Lord Wolfgang, the nephew of the Duke of Wesselton, and his pet magpies, Astrid and Magnus. Also new to the story is Queen Disa, who, like Anna, rules over her own kingdom. Currently, it is not known whether the original stars will lend their voices to the characters. According to a first trailer for the podcast, Kristen Bell and Idina Menzel seem to be unavailable, while Jonathan Groff and Josh Gad will once again be heard as Kristoff and Olaf. And that concludes the news of the week. We hope you liked this video. If you haven't had enough, you should check out our latest original, where we present you the best upcoming action movies of 2023 and 2024. The Equalizer 3 is, of course, kicking things off with its release next week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.